You better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant...
Dick!
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, where?
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Privates! We have reports of an unidentified flying object. It is a long, smooth shaft, complete with...
Hey, everybody, look who's here.
Hey, y'all doing? Hey, old man, wake up.
Hey, Arthur, they got John.
Good to see you.
Yeah, he got arrested.
He ain't hung yet?
Not yet. They moved him to Sisika. He's been working on a chain gang.
Howdy.
This is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Alright, YouTube. Fellow Outlaws, we have to have a bit of a serious discussion with this week's good and the bad and the ugly, because there's not a whole lot of good, but there is some good. So we'll talk about that first. I want to give a shout out to the Star Wars Galaxy's Legends staff for handling what could have been a very ugly, scary situation. Back on July 23rd, I believe it was, around 3:55 p.m., staff was made aware of some missing structures, and it turns out to have been around close to 7,000 houses in 4 zones that just went poof, went bye-bye. Now, they managed, within a day, hell, less than a day, about, I'd say roughly a couple hours of time, I think it was like by just after midnight, going on in the morning of July 24th, that they were able to restore those structures with only an hour and 10-minute rollback. Now, for anyone who has been with the Star Wars Galaxy's Legends community for as long as I have and others, you will know some rollbacks with prior staff structures were not so forgiving. Sometimes those rollbacks were several hours at best, or several days at worst. So for them to take such a potentially terrible situation of 7,000 structures being lost and only have an hour and 10-minute rollback, that's pretty damn impressive. And that they identified it so quickly that they were able to take the servers offline so that no further progress was lost by that community is impressive. So I just wanted to give that shout out before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's subject. Alright, so unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware of the fact that California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed suit against Activision Blizzard Incorporated in California's Superior Court. They've been investigating Activision Blizzard and a supposed frat boy culture for 2 years. We're talking about all kinds of discrimination against women, generally against women, pregnant employees. There's all kinds of sexual harassment that went down, retaliation, and unequal pay. Now, YouTube does not like the word that we say aloud, that we also normally spell R-A-P-E, so I'm going to try and keep things mostly PG-13, just in case this ever becomes a monetized video someday. Who knows? But this is absolutely disgusting. This has been going on for at least 2 years, because you have to think, something has to have happened beforehand for the investigation to begin in the first place. Now, we all know that Bungie split from Activision Blizzard, and not long after that happened, they fell under investigation for fraud. And as far as I know, that the law firm of Pomerantz LLP, I don't know if that lawsuit is completely closed out yet. There's some information I need to dig up to see where that stands. But you have to admit, considering the culture that was going on at Activision Blizzard, Bungie left at the right time, because we don't really hear about these things coming out from Bungie. And by now, we would be hearing a lot of people coming forward if Bungie was, complicit in this kind of culture. I'm hoping they're not. The night is still young, and something may still come to light. But for now, they seem to be in the clear, and who knows? For all we know, that might be one of the reasons why Bungie left. Because I don't think it's any coincidence that they leave and suddenly Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard is under investigation, wink, for fraud. By the way, speaking of discrimination and all the kind of BS that goes on with this situation, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, Bobby Kotick, gets awarded a $155 million pay package, approved by the shareholders. And this guy has the gall, after what? How many years of back-to-back record payouts from their games? And then, what was it, just last November, they netted something crazy like $1.2 billion just from microtransactions? Come on, man. We want to flick the booger at EA a lot and Ubisoft a lot for their egregious monetization practices, but you have a company with a CEO that makes $155 million plus whatever bonuses he's getting, and a company with record earnings, and then last November makes $1.2 billion on microtransactions, and they're laying people off, and there's not fair wage? I'm sorry, but with this lawsuit basically seeking penalties under the Equal Pay Act, injunctive relief, and any back pay that could be determined owed to these victims, I honestly hope the DFEH goes after Blizzard and Activision, but mostly Blizzard from what I'm hearing, for everything they're worth. This entire franchise needs to be shaken apart at the top of the tree and make room for new growth, because I'm sorry, but when you have cubicle crawls designed to harass or sexually assault or even sexually harass women or even minorities, that's completely unacceptable in any work environment. It's unacceptable, period. And the fact that the company would come out and say that these allegations are distorted and in many cases false, and that it values diversity in the workplace and inclusivity for everyone, I'm sorry, but aren't you the same company that had the Every Voice Matters plaque out in front of your building? Boy, that aged like a hot turd in a glass of warm milk on an Arizona blacktop, didn't it? Look, an employee took her own life after pictures went around from a party, from a company party of her that were, not great, and obviously not her fault because she was harassed by her fellow staffers. And that's the part that makes this video so hard to make, because as I'm saying these words, the long pauses are because I'm trying to not burst out into a furious shouting rant about how I feel, about how disgusted I am that a company could allow such egregious practices to go on for 2+ years. And I'm sorry, but without the removal of the tops and the heads of Blizzard and Activision and CEO Bobby Kotick, I sincerely doubt you are ever going to see change in that company's culture. I mean, this kind of stuff's been going on in other businesses too. You've heard about it at Ubisoft and other things like that, but not to the degree that we're hearing about it happening at Activision Blizzard. They got that almost untouchable bulletproof man syndrome that they've been the hero for so long with hits like World of Warcraft and now Overwatch that they think they're virtually untouchable. Well, here's hoping that the law shows you otherwise, because it is reprehensible what has transpired. I honestly think if this were in another country, some of y'all will probably swing for your crimes. The rest of y'all would probably be in jail for the rest of your life. Jail's not a bad option here, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though, because, hey, I did my time in the military. We have a zero tolerance policy for this kind of behavior. I mean, this is a career ender for anyone. The fact that it can be a career ender for those in the military and not be those with extra money to give around, these white-collar executives who think they're on top of the world, who should be held to the absolute highest standard in business America, that's unacceptable to me. I didn't serve my country so you and your frat boy house of rich boys can walk around and have these cubicle crawls harassing women and minorities. Not on my fucking watch. And you can demonetize me for that word if you want, but this dude's pissed. This outlaw's had it up to here. So from this point forth, until there's that change that I talked about earlier, you aren't going to see ever again a stream featuring any Blizzard title until things change. The games I already own can't do anything about that. But stuff's got to change, and I really, really hope everyone makes a stand together and starts boycotting Blizzard products because they don't deserve what they're earning right now. Their victims do. And that's all I got. Outlaw Lotus, signing out.
Goddamn hooded rodents. I'll kill all you bastards.
What is that? That looks just like an enormous...
Wang! Pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie. Yeah. What's that? Well, it looks like a giant...
Johnson. Yes, sir. Get on the horn to British intelligence and let them know about this.